What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Punk Rock Radar. Today, we are setting out to find your new favorite punk band. We put out a poll or a post on Instagram a couple days ago asking for your current favorite band, and now we are tasked with finding your new favorite band. And Dylan, we've got like 60 or so responses, so we've got our work cut out for us, but we're going to hit the ones we saw pop up the most today. How are you feeling about finding these people's new favorite bands?
The weight of the world is on my shoulders, but I'm up to the task.
Yeah, I spent hours looking, and I ended up going with my gut on all of them. Like yesterday, I was off, so I was just looking. And I just went with the bands that first came to my mind. It is what it is. We did the best we could. I think we did pretty solid. But the first band that we are looking to find your new favorite band for, we're going to do Green Day right here, because I think, that's the one that came out the most. That's the band that I look for to find bands that sound like is my all-time favorite band. And Dylan, I'm going to let you go first. So what are your Green Day comps?
All right, I got two. First, we got from the San Francisco Bay Area, Pinoles. They got one album out. It's only 9 songs, so technically not an album, but it's very good. The singer sounds like Billy Joe, kind of. They lean more towards the Ramones core side of things. It's like Green Day meets Riverdale's. And then my second band is from Scotland. We talked about these guys before, I think. The Kimberley Stakes. One of my favorite Scottish bands. They're like Insomniac era Green Day. I like their album To Live and Die in West Scotland, I think it's called, more than this one. But yeah, it's like Insomniac, but like on speed.
Yeah, this is a great pick, dude. I had this on my list originally too, and then once I saw you had it, I switched it off. But I'm gonna have, when we do our best albums of the last 5 years, I'm gonna have this one here. I love this record. I posted it yesterday in my story.
And I don't care what you say, no. No, I'm going fucking nowhere, I'm just getting older, I'm more cynical, I spend more time alone.
So I'm going to do my picks now, and Dylan, I picked 3 just in case you're going to tell me this first band's too popular. I'm going Broadway Calls with my first pick. Their first album here, the self-titled, this was on, I think, Billy Joe's record label, Adeline at first. This one says Red Scare, but it's even produced by a member of Green Day's production team. But this one's probably my least favorite by them. The ones I would focus on if you're a fan of Green Day are the middle two, Good Views, Bad News. And my favorite one is Comfort Distraction here from 2013. This is probably the one I'll leave a clip for. Definitely Green Day adjacent band. So Broadway Calls, first one. My second band I'm going to do is this band called Dumber from the UK. They only have a handful of songs. They've got 1 EP and 2 singles, but I think these guys kind of nailed that Kerplunk Dookie era sound. There's not a ton of songs to go through, but my favorites are going to be She's Not Mine and Grind. Only 6 monthly listeners too, so definitely go check these guys out. They haven't posted in about a year, so I don't know if they're still active, but yeah, Dumber from the UK. And then my last pick, just in case you already knew Broadway Calls, is going to be this band called Bad Words. They've got an album from 2015 that this song $900 is very Green Day adjacent style song, super catchy. And then their EP from 2021, just self-titled. Go check out the TV theme song and a couple other tracks on here I think is pretty reminiscent of Green Day.
And I'm surrounded by ghosts, I'm singing Lovely in Kingston, and it feels like work is never far away, a necessary evil here to stay. Running budget and playing on the floor, I've been spewing shit, they were living on my past mistakes.
All right, and next up, we got some recommendations for our fellow Bad Religion fans. First up for me, we got Chaser. They don't really sound like a carbon copy of Bad Religion, but they're definitely in the same vein of melodic punk as Bad Religion. They even have a Bad Religion cover Skyscraper. It's crazy good. Mike LaDon, the singer, has a very soft, kind of understated voice, similar to Greg Graffin, that I enjoy. These guys have been around for, I think, over 20 years. Their first album was Numb America. That's a very Bad Religion sounding album. And their most recent one was Dreamers, which John and I both think very highly of this album. So definitely check out Chaser. Great band, and somewhat similar to Bad Religion. Next up, I got Nonthewiser, or Nonthewiser. Not sure how you guys pronounce it. Sorry. This is a band I discovered recently. I guess they've been around a while, and they've been working on this album for a bit, but it finally came out. I missed it for a month, but John showed me it, and I can't go back now. I love it. This is a great album. It definitely sounds like it's like The Gray Race meets The Empire Strikes First. So great album, great band. I can't get enough of these guys, and I don't think you guys will be able to get enough of them either.
Yeah, my pick was also going to be Nonthewiser, so I'll just leave this up here for a moment here. Especially the song Daytime is so catchy. It's been stuck in my head constantly. I also hear like a little bit of Matters Era Pulley on some of the songs. But yeah, Bad Religion is definitely the closest comp. So Dylan, I've only got one other band for Bad Religion. I'm not sure how you're going to feel about this, but this can kind of go two ways, because I think early on, F.O.D. sounded a lot like more Green Day, especially like the first album. And then maybe even like Tricks of the Trade, you start to get to like more Fat Wreck. But I think on this one here, the second most recent one, Harvest, like songs but like Crew You, I think are very Bad Religion adjacent. But their whole catalog is really good. This is one of my favorite current punk bands, even though I think they're on a hiatus. But if you like Bad Religion, I would go and check out this one, F.O.D. Harvest, especially the songs Crew You, So Far and Mortally Blind. They're all very Bad Religion-esque songs.
Crew you, we bow our heads for everything you do.
All right, up next we got Less Than Jake. Everybody knows my favorite band. So first recommendation I'm going to make is another Floridian ska punk band. They're a local band to me. Victims of Circumstance. This is my favorite local band, and they definitely have the same vibe as Less Than Jake, 100%. And they have quite the extensive back catalog. They have not one, not two, but 3, 4, 5 full-length albums and a bunch of cover EPs for you to check out. My favorite album is probably a toss-up between Acupuncture and No More Heroes. 2 phenomenal albums. Great production, great songs. I love VOC, so check them out if you like Less Than Jake. And then my second recommendation is going to be a younger band. I think they've been around for a few years, though. Joker's Republic. Where are these guys from? Like New
Jersey.
Orleans, I think, maybe?
Jersey.
Okay, New Jersey. I was not even close. Yeah, these guys came out with a new album last year. Necessary Evil. I like this album a lot. It didn't crack my top 10, but it was one of the best ska albums I heard last year. And hey, Buddy from Less Than Jake plays trombone on one of the songs. That's my only knock against these guys. They don't have a horn section. But aside from that, the vibe of the songs is definitely in the same realm as Less Than Jake.
Roll up your sleeves if you're walking Bayard Street. It's a necessary evil, not our fault.
All right, yeah. So Dylan, I had Joker's Republic too on my list. Jersey band. They're from the same county as where my mom grew up, so I give them points there, and that album is incredible. So I'm sticking in the East Coast here, sticking in the Northeast. I've got Divide by Zero. I'm pretty sure these guys are from upstate New York. I knew they did a couple or a song or two with Millington, another great band from the Capital Region, New York. But their EP here, Quarantine Happy Hour is awesome. I'd recommend the songs Poison and What a Skank. Definitely a Less Than Jake feel. They just got a new singer a couple weeks ago, so hopefully some new stuff on the way. But yeah, check out Divide by Zero. And then my other pick, Dylan, I'm going with the easy one here. In my opinion, one of the best ska bands out there right now, Abraskadabra. This album was in my top 5 of 2021. It's probably my favorite ska album of the last 5 years, especially songs like Bunkers and Not Going Back. These guys, they nailed that punk rock chorus with the upstroke verses, just like, Less Than Jake wrote the book on that. These guys follow that pretty closely. So this is definitely my pick for ska in general. Abraskadabra, Make Yourself at Home. But if you are a fan of Less Than Jake, you haven't heard this is a priority right here. Go check it out.
Our dreams are put on hold, but we don't care. Dancing to the floor on the floor. I can't help it. I guess I feel alive when he hurts me. And it doesn't matter, I'm not going back.
Okay, up next we got a sacred cow of punk rock, No Use for a Name. My first band I'm going to recommend for you No Use fans is Paperback Tragedy from Baltimore, Maryland. Their new album, Three She, is awesome. Definitely has a No Use vibe, super fast melodic punk. I love this record. These guys are great. So check them out if you like old school No Use, like early 90s. Up next, we got Sic Waiting. This band falls more into the later period No Use when they kind of slowed down a bit. Some of Sic Waiting's earlier stuff is a bit faster, but their most recent album, A Fine Hill to Die On, their comeback album, is definitely more slower paced. And that's not a bad thing. Jared, the singer, has a very good voice, and these are good songs. And then my last recommendation is definitely for real early, like late 80s No Use fans. Those first few albums, Don't Miss the Train, that kind of stuff, especially Venerea's older shit, like Both Ends Burning. That album definitely has an old school No Use vibe. From Sweden, a lot of great punk bands from Sweden. Venerea is one of them.
Deep inside my mind I try, finding different reasons to let go. I can't know. Green Day and Offspring opened the door. It was the summer of '94.
All right, Dylan. So my first pick here, and No Use for me, this is the band I had the most trouble with because I think a lot of bands, like it's hard to like get Tony's melodies and like the little subtle intricacies in the guitars. But I think Flag on Fire from Florida, just like you, they come pretty close. Like it's very melody based. It gets heavier at times, so invoking some of that earlier No Use energy. But I love this band. I think both of these albums, there's an album and an EP. Like Indiana Drones is probably my favorite song. They had a new album that was, I think, supposed to come out in 2020. I don't know if it got COVID or what, it got canceled, but Flag on Fire, definitely a recommendation for me. Very 90s Fat Wreck sounding. Go check this out. And then my second one I think is a lot closer. I'm going to do Gibberish, which is like, I think a remote punk band. Guys from all over the world, bonding, coming together over their love for 90s skate punk. I think No Use the No Use influence is pretty prevalent on this album. It's even got Hans from F.O.D. on my favorite track, Yesterday. Lifetime's another good song. This came out only 2021 on Thousand Islands and Disconnect Records. The other band that they cite as an influence is what are they called? Much the Same, which is probably the closest you can get to No Use for a Name, but I thought they were a little too popular to put here. But yeah, Gibberish, the album Strangers, really good from 2021. Actually has a singer of Much the Same on the first track here. So we'll do that one next. Go check it out, Gibberish.
Just one more drink to clear my head. If it doesn't work this time, maybe I'll end up feeling numb. Knowing I'm wasted another
And last but not least, we got Blink-182 for all you super hardcore punk fans and Hot Topic shoppers. My first recommendation is probably the least Blink sounding of the three I'm going to recommend is Handheld. I think their newest album may have been in John's top 10 of 2022. It's a great album. And I think of their many albums, it is the most Blink sounding. Definitely reminiscent of earlier like Dude Ranch era Blink. So yeah, check out Handheld from Canada. They got another band too called Curbside that kind of has the same vibe, but this is the more Blinky of the two. My second recommendation is going to be No Matter from, they're from Ireland. Their newest album, Bad Chemistry, awesome stuff. I think they have dual vocalists. They have a girl and a guy who sing. There's one song on here, I can't remember the name of it, but it's totally sounds like a Blink song, and I love it. I love the whole album, though. It's great. I need to go back and check out more of their stuff, but definitely a Blink vibe going on here. And then last up, I got Better Luck Next Time, who, if you're active on Facebook and other social media, you know these guys for their incessant shit posting. Very funny social media accounts to follow. They have 4 full-length albums. One of them has like 2 versions. Third Time's a Charm. I think one has like keyboards or something and the other doesn't. But super fast-paced, like early 2000s pop punk kind of thing. Reminds me of like a mix of early and mid-period Blink. So if you like Blink-182, check out Better Luck Next Time.
Double DUI, I'm gonna blink an eye, blasting my Pantera.
All right, so my Blink-182 recommendations, I'm going to start first with the band Light Years. I think they're from Ohio. And I want to focus on this album here, Afterlife, because I think this album sounds like it could have come out in between Take Off Your Pants and Jacket and Untitled. I think even the vocals are very, they sound a lot like Mark Hoppus. And I think anybody that likes Blink-182 will like this band. I don't know if they're working on anything else. I think the band itself is also the backing band for Parker Cannon's side project. I'm blanking on what that band is called. It was on my top 10 last year. I can't remember what it's called. But yeah, go check out Afterlife. I've got almost every song on this album pinned. It's that good. It'll be on my top albums of the last 5 years. So Light Years, Afterlife. My second pick, Dylan, I'm going to do another Florida band for you. The ProblemAddictsFL. I don't know if they pronounce FL or not, but this album here, EP number 3, especially the first song on here, First Quarter, it sounds a lot like Dude Ranch mixed with like Green Day. So like in that vein, it's very fast. Enema of the State, if it was like twice the speed, I think you'll get that sound from this album here, The Problematics. I also like this album here, Bad Breaks, especially the song Overdue. So if you like Blink, the faster stuff, the earlier stuff, Cheshire, Dude Ranch, go check out ProblemAddictsFL. And then my last pick, Dylan, this is a band we featured on the our favorite newer songs. They've only got 2 songs right now, but I'm hearing a lot of Blink-182 influence on these tracks, a lot of Enema of the State influence. They're from Newcastle. Only 2 songs here, like I said. Dylan, that's it. I was going to wrap it up here. Do you know if these 2 songs are part of an EP or an album that we could look forward to from these guys, or do we have any info on it?
Yeah, it's part of their debut EP they have coming out very soon on April 14th. So yeah, look out for that. Great up-and-coming Australian pop punk / melodic punk band. One of these songs is super fast, skate punky, and then the newer one, What You Want, is definitely more Blink sounding.
Sick of always making these apologies. Sick of living life down on my knees. Thinking of all the good times that we had, smoking and drinking and sharing this glass. But I'm here today, still stuck in my ways. So long and goodbye. You just
So guys, that's going to wrap it up. We did 5 bands today. We got about 50 more to do. If you want us to find your new favorite band, the best way to do it is going to be to comment on the Instagram post. I'm going to be referencing that when we do episode 2, or you could just comment on this video too. We're going to be checking those as well. But let us know what you thought of our picks. Let us know if there's another band that you could think of that's better than the ones that we picked. And of course, make sure you're subscribed so you can find your next new favorite band on an upcoming episode. Dylan, anything else you want to share before we get out of here?
Thanks for watching, everybody. Thank you for all the recommendations. The engagement we got on the post asking for your recommendations was great. And we have a ton of bands loaded into the barrel of our gun right now, ready to go. So stay tuned for more episodes, and thanks for tuning in.